Hello and welcome to Das German Critic. Weil hey, außer mir macht's ja keiner. So, what are we going to take a look at today? Balto. Balto? You mean that animated movie from the 90s? Yep. But that's not even a German production. Okay, I guess we could take a look at it. I mean, I did watch it as a kid, and it might not be such a bad idea to look at it again and see how well it's fared since then. So, without further ado, this is Balto. What the hell? That's not Balto. That one starts out with the girl and the granny in Central Park. Oh, this is Balto all right. Balto, an Adventurous Rescue. Yeah, people, that's right. Today, we're going to take a look at another one of Dingo Pictures' cinematic knockoffs. 'Cause one abomination wasn't enough. So put on your snowshoes, run across the ice as fast as possible as we take a look at Balto-Eine Abenteuerliche Rettung. Balto, an Adventurous Rescue. So, we begin this journey of horrendous with an 8-bit ocean and a 2-bit shoreline as we see our two, shall we call them, comic relief characters of the next half hour. Not that they're actually funny or relieving, but what's actually going on here is pretty amazing. Remember how I mentioned the Vulture design ripoffs in Lion and the King? Well, this movie does it too. Although the main plot they steal from is from the real Balto, it appears they also took some, shall we politely call it, inspiration from another beloved children's cartoon, Little Polar Bear 2. Another movie I could be reviewing instead of this one. Speaking of Lion and the King, that movie was their A-list product. Here, they don't even try. Case in point, the box art. I mean, take a look at these two DVD cases and tell me which one you'd rather watch or even buy in terms of the mere apparent production quality. Not so hard of a choice now, is it? But why am I talking about the box art when I should really be talking about the movie? Because talking about anything else other than this movie is what I'd rather be doing. So, the movie then throws us this abomination of a kid named Nico at us who can somehow talk to the animals. How can he do that? It's never explained. Like, never.
Lass sie doch, wenn die nun mal kalt ist. Morgen bringe ich dir einen Schal mit, dann frierst du nicht mehr so schlimm.
Ein Schal.
How is this funny? It isn't. You suck at comedy. Move on. We're then introduced to our two main characters of the film, Balto and Steel. Sorry, that was a typo. The black and white dog's name is actually Como. And since this is Dingo Pictures we're dealing with here, they were, of course, especially creative with their character models, as you can clearly see. This also goes for the characters Mac and Doc, who are obviously supposed to be rip-offs of the girl's father and the town doctor from the original. And of course, bear no resemblance to them whatsoever. So then, for no reason at all, Como and Balto race each other through that helpful piss-poor animation until...
Und du, Balto, du konntest ruhig noch etwas schneller werden. Schluss jetzt. Wir gehen nach Hause.
And speaking of dumb scenes, how about this one? Because we clearly haven't had any comic relief for a while.
Schwimmen!
Ha, ha, ha! This is how you do comedy. Thankfully, the plot of the movie gets going, and one of the children actually gets sick. Hey, considering how much of the original movie they raped, I'm surprised they stayed consistent on that plot element. So, in order to determine which dogs should go and get the medicine, they start a race. Logically, Balto, along with Judy, the female dog, win the race, or the title of the movie wouldn't make any sense. You can clearly tell that this is a female because of the pinkish markings on its fur. But since the female dog wants to stay in Nome with the retard child, Balto and Como are assigned to go.
Hier drin sind die Briefe an die Ärzte in Anchorage. Ein Brief für jeden von euch, falls einem unterwegs was passieren sollte.
Okay, wait. What the fuck? In the original film, the medicine had to be transported by ship, plane, and even a frigging train to even get the medicine as far as Nanana, and from then on by sled to Nome. And here, these two stupid mutts are expected to make the same journey all on their own?
Nein, 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 nein!
Eines sage ich dir, wenn du weiter an mir rummeckerst, dann... Was dann?
Eventually, the two get totally exhausted and decide to rest near the side of the mountain, completely exposed to the elements. I hope these two fuckers die. You know why? 'Cause then I don't have to watch any more of this movie. But that's not the most tragic part of the scene, because as the camera zooms out, we see that, oh no, they were almost there! Needless to say, they're found and finally get the stupid-ass medicine from the doctor in Anchorage. And boy are they lucky that it's only a small bag with what I can only assume to be pills in it. One can't imagine what they would have done had they had to have transported an entire crate of medicine. You know, like in the original, where it made much more sense. With the medicine, the two then finally set on their journey home and again come across the same gorge. But, being exhausted from wading through the thick snow, Como just can't make the jump across and falls to his death.
Nein! Como? Nein!
Now, I could make a reference to the original where Steele falls off the cliff by stumbling after getting into an argument with Balto over who's going to take the medicine back to Nome, but I want to wrap this review up as soon as possible. No. Please, just please don't tell me they're gonna trash that epic wolf scene from the original. In the real movie, the wolf scene is where Balto comes to terms with the fact that he is part dog and part wolf, and that he can only get the medicine back to Nome if he acknowledges these two facets of his identity. It's not just well animated, but without a doubt, the most powerful scene in the movie that just makes you want to chime in to that awesome wolf cry. So, how did they manage to fuck that up?
Auf, schneller! Los, verschwinde! Los, da, weg!
by shitting all over my childhood. Nice. Very, very nice. But thankfully, this movie is finally over. The stupid-ass kid gets his medicine, Doc briefly mourns the loss of Como, and we close on the polar bear again falling into the water. So this was Balto-Eine Abenteuerliche Rettung, Balto, an Adventurous Rescue, where the only thing that needed rescuing was my brain after watching this piece of shit. I mean, what can I say about this movie that I haven't already said about Lion and the King? The dubbing is poor, the animation is awful, and, oh yeah, it takes a big dump all over my childhood. But folks, I have wonderful, joyous news to bring to you. This is the last one. The last Dingo Pictures film I will ever review. And really, let's be honest here, 2 films are more than enough to demonstrate just how awful these movies are and this production company is. This was Dust German Critic, and you know what? Just do yourself a favor and watch the original.